in the way that it's intended to be done, you're not going to experience the tremendously influential movement that occurs within your mind, your body, your soul, your feelings, and so forth and so on. What I'm saying is that I see Marlene. Marlene, is that it? Thank you. And Hendrik. Marlene and Hendrik, for example, have had a conversation based upon feedback that I provided them. I don't presume to say it's the first conversation they've ever had, because Marlene and Hendrik have been talking to each other for a long time, related to each other, husband and wife, I believe Marlene and Hendrik are, yes, and partners. But they began this conversation with me, and I recommended something to them, and lo and behold, they actually did what I recommended. Holy moly, what an extraordinary experience. Because understand that the millions upon millions of people who have read my books, many, many, many of them haven't done my books. Nor, for example, have they ever really paid attention to the introductory quotes at the beginning of every chapter of my books. Now, you've all read my book, The E-Myth Revisited. Please raise your hand if you haven't. Okay. Now, your name is Joanne. Joanne, you got to read the book. Get the book, The E-Myth Revisited, Why Most Small Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It, by, guess who? Michael Gerber. Now, there are 30 different books, and Joanne says, I'm reading it now. Wonderful. Thank you, Joanne. So Joanne has responded, and I've now read what Joanne has said, and now you've all heard it. Hear me. The work we're doing together in Radical You is built upon, if only 3 of my books, the first 3. The first 3 I'm suggesting for your purposes are The E-Myth Revisited, and you have probably seen that book. The E-Myth Revisited, Beyond the E-Myth, The Evolution of an Enterprise, From a Company of One to a Company of 1,000, and Awakening the Entrepreneur Within. Indeed, this year, your first year at Radical You, is based upon this book. It's the dreaming room. I have a dream, I have a vision, I have a purpose, I have a mission. You're walking through the process. And Joanne, Robin says, I'm listening to the E-Myth Revisited on audio, and that's fine. That's fine. But once you've listened to it on audio, I'm going to recommend you get the book and read it. And I'm recommending that because when you see the words, not just hear the words, something happens. Now, understand, something happens that you're not aware of, but the visual reality of the words has a profoundly, monumentally transformational impact. The quote I'll give you as an example, and this is in the E-Myth, Awakening the Entrepreneur Within. The quote at the head of the introduction says, for once you're going to hear a dream that I have made sound. I dreamt all this. Never could my poor head have invented such a thing purposely. Richard Wagner. Every single one of these quotes will take you deeper into everything you're learning here. Every one of the quotes at the head of each of these chapters will take you deeper into what we're doing here. And when I say deeper into, I'm not speaking about your mind. I'm speaking about your heart's mind. And when I speak about your heart's mind, I'm not speaking about personal growth as the personal growth industry does. I'm not talking about motivating you. I'm talking about inspiring your heart's mind in a way that is absolutely essential for you to understand the spirit within. It said every human being is born with a soul. The soul arrives on earth in every one of you, your soul, your soul, your soul, every one of us, our souls, original souls, born in the image of God, born to create a world fit for God. Now, whatever your relationship with the word and the being and the idea and the notion of God is, you don't need to fix it. All you need to do is to engage with it. And I'm not saying that as a religious man, I'm saying that as a spiritual man. And there's a whole dialogue we engage in with every Radical U student. And we're engaging in with you every single moment that you're in Radical U. Carlos, the E-Myth, please run that back up. Carlos, please run that back up. Or Lorand, please run that back up. I just saw a chat and it disappeared. I need time to read it if I'm going to say it. It says the E-Myth revised, it's revisited, is in Spanish. Yes, it is. The E-Myth revisited is in 30 plus languages today. Are the other two books being translated? They might be. And in fact, you can make that happen if you are familiar with a publisher who publishes in your language. You can go to them and say to them, I would love it if you would publish this book, which has worldwide renown. And all you need to do is to go to Michael E. Gerber and speak to him about it, and he'll lead you in the right direction. Any one of you can do that. Any one of you can do that. Let me repeat that. Every one of you can do that. You follow me? Which means every one of you can take charge and will take charge of your own life. We're here to facilitate the process by which you, every single individual one of you, take charge of your life. And by taking charge of your life, we're starting by speaking about awakening the entrepreneur within your life, the creator within your life, the Imagineer within your life, as Walt Disney called him. You follow me? And that's the studying that you're doing. From the very first session with Amethyst, The very first process you're being walked through, we're intentionally awakening the entrepreneur within you. We're intentionally intending to transform the state of entrepreneurship in your life, in your body, in your mind, in your soul. And to do that requires a commitment to do that from you. I like to say, if you have the will, we have the way. And I say that because I know that without the will, it doesn't matter if we have the way, because you'll become oblivious to the way. And believe me, what I also know about the way is that it creates conflict among each and every one of you, not between you, but within you. Conflict, I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand what you're saying, Amethyst. I don't understand what you want me to do, Amethyst. I don't understand what you want me to do, Michael Gerber. I don't understand what you want me to do. Carlos says, could you explain better the difference between no cost versus low cost? No cost versus low cost. Well, it's obvious. Radical You isn't no cost. It's not even low cost. It's right now being provided for the first year for $10 only. It costs us thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars to produce the first year of Radical You. But we're offering it to you, we're providing it to you for a mere thin $10 bill. One time. That's your commitment. And that commitment of $10 is simply saying to you that anything that's not spent of that $10 by us is donated to charity. You might say, well, why don't we simply give it to you for nothing? It's because it didn't come to me for nothing. It came to me with an investment of over 43 years. Carlos, Michael, I gather that my vision will look very much like yours in the sense that I want, and it ended. I didn't get the full thing. Loran, did you send that to me, or is that directly from Carlos?
I am sending it to you, Michael. You might be able to scroll on the right-hand side.
It's not showing on the right-hand side. It's showing underneath. So let me see. Let me see. No, it's not showing. Let me run full screen. No, it's not showing. Do you have a means to do that?
No, I can't control your side, but I can read you the question. It's Carlos is asking.
Wait a second. Here I go. I'm on, I clicked on chat.
Okay.
No, just a second. Bear with me, folks. I just became 84. Okay, here we are. Joanne, to everyone, I'm reading it now, reading the new one too. Robin, I'm listening to the E-Myth and Audible. Carlos, the E-Myth Revisited in Spanish. And then Carlos, let me see if I can. Are the other two books being translated? Could you, this is Carlos 1 and Carlos 2. Could you explain better the difference between no cost? I got it. Okay. So we're now getting on with this. and by so doing to transform small business worldwide, awakening the entrepreneur within. Carlos, Michael, I gather that my vision will look very much like yours in the sense that I want to replicate the McDonald's system in my own business. Am I correct? Yes, you're absolutely correct. But understand when you say to replicate the McDonald's system, understand what's meant by that when I say that. What's meant by that is you're going to go to work on your franchise prototype, just like Ray Kroc did. And your franchise prototype is, in fact, the operating McDonald's hamburger stand that he founded in Des Plaines, Illinois, perfected in Des Plaines, Illinois, documented in Des Plaines, Illinois, operated within Des Plaines, Illinois, to the point where it was delivering exactly what he intended for it to deliver. And until that was happening, he didn't replicate it. Once that happened, he replicated it exactly the same way it operated in Des Plaines, Illinois. So the first franchise, the second franchise, the third franchise, and on and on and on and on. Every single one of them was an extreme replication of the very first one. And that's what we mean when we say to create the McDonald's of small business consulting. We literally invented our consulting system, which became the first, literally the first coaching company on the planet that we then replicated again and again and again and again. So that's what, Carlos, I mean when I say, and you say, what you said. Carlos, again, is this Carlos 1 or Carlos 2? Michael, I gather that my vision will look very much like yours in the sense of Am I correct? Oh, Sundar, I have many ideas. I'm trying to run a couple at the same time. How do I stick to one? You make up your mind to stick to one. Hello, Anna. How are you? And Anna, I don't see him here because I guess we're way further down, but I was introducing, there's so many more of you than I saw at first. But Lorand is with us tonight running the show. And Lorand is showing on the show. And he's the first one up in the corner. And when you see Lorand, you understand Lorand is actually running Radical U, the Radical U you're enrolled in, because he invented the software upon which Radical U operates. And so you have a deeply intimate relationship with Lorand, this most extremely brilliant, loving, kind, and genuine human being who lives with his family in Canada and is here in Canada 1 hour later than I am. So let me move this. There we go. Now I'm saying Darren. Hello, Darren. And I presume this is Mrs. Darren. Okay. And Yumisi. No, I already asked you, is that how I pronounce it? And you're saying close enough, Gerber. Close enough, Gerber. Denver, hello, welcome. John, welcome. Melissa, welcome. Alan, Kane, welcome. Steve Baust, is that how I pronounce your last name, Steve? Close enough or perfect? You got it. Misty, hello, Misty, how are you? And Chris, how are you? And Anna, how are you? Anna missed us last week, or I missed her. And Anna comes to us from Hawaii. Now I know because Anna has been chatting with me from Hawaii. We've had some delightful chats and some not so delightful chats, but the only reason is because I don't actually behave the way everybody might believe I would behave. I just am me. And here we go. So we have Simon, we have Kevin, we have Marilyn, we have William, we have Yasser, we have Uday, we have Mike O'Brien, we have Anthony Arias, we have, I'm not even going to begin that, Lionel, and we have a phone number. So good. So here we are. So you get to chat with me. Every single one of you get to chat, but you got to write it down. Type your message here, write it down, and ask your question. I'll read it. I'll acknowledge it's from you, and then I'll answer your question for as much time as we can possibly do this. So
I've added a few questions, Michael, for you.
Yes, I got it. Thank you. Sundar said, I have many ideas. I'm trying to run a couple at the same time. Stop doing that, Sundar. Just run one for the moment. Based upon a dream, a vision, a purpose, and a mission. Year one of Radical You is based upon the platform you're going to build your company on. Hear me. We're not in the process of doing it. That's what you've been doing ever since you started this thing. We're building a platform upon which we're going to grow whatever we're going to grow. But that platform comprises, I have a dream, I have a vision, I have a purpose, I have a mission. The dreamer has a dream, the thinker has a vision, the storyteller has a purpose, and the leader has a mission. Now understand, you hear this stuff every single time you meet with me on Thursday, and hear me, I repeat it because you need to get it. So your questions reflect what you get and what you don't. You follow me? And when I hear that you don't get it, I'm going to say it so you can get it. And then every single other one of you who is participating in this process are then suffering the indignity of having to hear me say it again and yet again. And I smile when I say that, and I smile when I say that simply because it makes me smile. What can I tell you? Because I'm so repetitive. Avigdor. Now, please, if I don't pronounce your name correctly, bear with me. How do you transform a dream into a system? How do you truly know who we really are and move out of any one type and manage to truly dream? You ask me the kinds of questions you're asking me, and then I respond to those questions to the point where you get who you really are. And until you get who you really are, there's no hope for anyone to get who you really are. You follow me? This isn't for me to get it. It's for you to get it. And here we are. So let's go back to that question that I'm responding to, because it's a very important question. Hold on. You can see I'm a klutz when it comes to this. Does anybody know what a klutz is? Oh, I do. How do you truly know who you really are? He's asking me, how do I know? I move out of one type, meaning typecast, and manage to truly dream. Well, you've got to understand that I'm not typecasting anyone. If I'm typecasting anyone, great creator on the planet has done, we create with a blank piece of paper